Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Katie Macaluso, and I'll be your webinar moderator today for today's presentation on the online MSN and RN to MSN programs at Spring Arbor University. Whether you're early in your program search or perhaps you've already applied, we hope you'll be able to learn something new or many things new today as you hear directly from faculty in the program. So I know there's a few people still joining us, but we are going to go ahead and get started right away here. Here's a quick look at some housekeeping notes for today's presentation. So this event is being recorded for future viewing. We'll be sending out a recording tomorrow for all attendees as well as anyone who might have missed this event. You are muted today, so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask those at any time. You can type them in the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen. And then here's a look at our agenda for today. So we'll be starting out kind of talking about Spring Arbor University and nursing at Spring Arbor. And then we'll do a deep dive into the program. So we'll look at the RN to MSN as well as the MSN programs and dive into some of the aspects of those programs and then cover the admissions process and save time for Q&A at the end. And then here are our faculty speakers joining us today. So we have Dr. Al Kaufman, who is the Dean and Associate Professor of Nursing in the School of Nursing and Health Sciences at Spring Arbor. He's been a part of Spring Arbor's faculty since 2006. Prior to that, he held staff nurse and nursing management positions in the Detroit Medical Center and was Vice President of Clinical Services and Chief Nursing Officer of a surgical specialty hospital. And then joining him is Dr. Dawn Day. Dr. Day is the chair of the graduate nursing programs at Spring Arbor and a professor of nursing. She has taught traditional and online programs at all levels of nursing since joining Spring Arbor in 2014. Dr. Day's clinical background and interests in nursing include labor and delivery, mother-baby, psychiatric nursing, and community mental health. It's always great to hear directly about the programs from faculty, so it's great to have both of you here today. At this point, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Kaufman to tell you more about Spring Arbor University.
Thank you, Katie. And it's a pleasure to be here in front of all of you today, those of you that are in person and those that are going to be listening later on. Welcome to this presentation on Spring Arbor University's MSN and RN to MSN programs. It is my honor to serve you as the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. This is a really amazing place to work at and to work for. And I wanted to share a little bit about our programming and the history of the university. So we were established in 1873, and we should probably give like a discount for anybody that can successfully recognize that that means this coming year is our sesquicentennial. You get an additional discount if you can say sesquicentennial. But we have been delivering education for 150 years, and we're going to have a large celebration planned. And we would love to have you join us and begin your educational journey on our 150th year. Spring Arbor University, as you can see, is a nonprofit. We're affiliated with the Free Methodist University, or I'm sorry, Free Methodist Church. And what's significant about that is Free Methodist began as an abolitionist denomination. And so we're really proud of that heritage and history, which leads us to our mission. We are an intentionally Christ-centered university. And by that, we mean as nurses, I think you all know, we look at biopsychosocial and spiritual. Well, in this program, we are very intentional about all of those, including the spiritual. So it is our intention that you would be able to grow emotionally, mentally, but also spiritually, intellectually, as we say on this slide. All of our programs are accredited. The university is accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, and all of our tracks that we're talking about today are accredited through the Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education. We've worked very hard at that, and we're very proud of that recognition. And then our programs do have some additional accolades that you can see on this slide. And I think at this point, I'm going to turn this conversation over to Dr. Day. And Dr. Day and I will be bouncing back and forth in this conversation. So Dr. Day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. For me as well, it's an honor to be here to share about Spring Arbor University with you, specifically our nursing program, which we are very proud of. So happy to have you here today with us. Some things about our program design. We do have a 717 model, which is a little unique compared with other universities. This just means that you take one class at a time, one didactic class at a time, and then it lasts 7 weeks and you get a week off in between courses. This allows you to take 3 separate didactic courses within one semester, but focusing only on that one course at a time. We're very proud of our faculty who are all now, all of our full-time faculty are now doctorally prepared. That is a new thing for us. We just had a couple of our faculty graduate from a DNP program, our DNP program actually. And so now they are all full doctorally prepared. One thing that we do with our faculty is, the faculty who are teaching your courses are subject matter experts. And so you will have a faculty who is has direct expertise in each course. The content can apply it from their own practice. That's really important to offer that for you to gain that direct experience that they can give you from their own practice. And that's both in the didactic courses and in the clinical courses. We have very small class sizes. Typically, our courses only have 15 to 20 students in a course. And this is really a plus because it allows you as the student to connect to the other students in your cohort within each course and with your faculty. Having a small course like that really allows our faculty to be able to connect with the students on an individual level, which is something that we're very proud of. Typically, our faculty they make phone calls, they'll meet with you on Zoom. They provide just that extra special individualized touch for the students. The small class size allow them to be directly involved in the course throughout every week that you have them. So that's a really big plus for us. And then faith integration. We're a Christian university, but we really truly have Christ at the center. So our education model has in the very center of it faith integration for every course that you will take here. And what that means is that we offer you an opportunity to grow in your faith as a Christian. And if you're not a Christian, we give you the opportunity to dialogue with Christians and about the Christian perspective and learn from that Christian perspective throughout your courses. We really see this as an important aspect of this university because we are offering you an opportunity to learn how to critically think through content, through your own faith perspective, and what that means to be able to then, connect your vocation or your calling as a nurse to your faith. I know that you will see in the courses there are direct content application to scripture or to your personal perspectives on faith. And it's important to recognize that someone's faith does come first. And it's really about how can I be a nurse? How do I fit my nursing into that faith background? Dr. Kaufman, do you have anything else that you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think students often ask us, do I have to be Christian to attend? And the answer is clearly no. We do not have a faith requirement for students. There is a faith requirement for faculty and staff, but not for students. We have students that come to us from many and varied and almost all faith traditions. And there are no tests or writing or any grading that occurs where there's the correct answer from our perspective within any of the courses. So we typically have students tell us that they're comfortable in our classes, regardless of their faith perspective, that they have grown in their understanding of their view of the world. But at the same time, we don't back away from our perspective that teaches from a Christian worldview. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the MSN program specifically. Before I get into this, the specifics of the program, some of the distinguishing characteristics, I want to say we are a place that is intellectually stimulating, and we expect students to perform rigorously. Our courses are designed. They're not, this is not a place to come where we're just going to pass out grades to you. You're going to have to work hard. It's also a place, however, I would say, I hope you're getting a sense that it's a place where we have fun and we enjoy learning together. We enjoy each other's company, and perhaps as a way to just demonstrate that a little bit, I would say in this photo, the first thing that came to my mind was, I just wonder what is so funny inside of that kid's head that this particular nursing student is observing in there. Typically, we don't have that reaction when we're doing our assessments, but she's having fun for sure. And we have fun here as well. So our MSN program, we like to say, because we think it's true, that our program is designed for working nurses, meaning almost all of our students are employed, many of them full-time. I will say that as they go through the program and they get closer to the end, particularly for our NP students, they may decrease their hours in order to complete clinical work more effectively or efficiently for them. But our program is intentionally designed for working nurses. We have multiple tracks in both the nurse practitioner realm, as well as educator and administrator, and we'll expand on those last two in a few minutes. The time to complete that you can see on the form is typical, but not essential. There are some students that take more time. It would be difficult to take less time than this. Our 6 starts or 6 intakes per year, we've done that again intentionally for working nurses because we want to be here when you're ready. We work very hard at having a program that is about you and not about us. And so there are 6 entry points throughout the year. Each of the programs or each of the tracks has similar core courses required for MSN students. And then at the completion of those core courses, you move into the concentration courses. So throughout the first part of the program, you're interacting with students in various tracks, which we think is effective and stimulating, and you get to meet people with various aspirations and backgrounds. And then the RN to MSN program. Without repeating the slide, I think what I would like to communicate with you is that there is one primary distinction on here, and that is we've been very careful to ensure that as an RN to MSN student, you will complete your BSN, and not only complete it, but we will grant your degree as you're working through this program. This is a long program. It's a big undertaking, but we've attempted to decrease the total time that it takes for an associate degree student to get a bachelor's and then to enter an MSN program. And we've been able to shorten that typical timeline by combining some of the courses into both the undergraduate and the graduate tracks. So there is an off-ramp, so to speak, for some RN to MSN students. Something occurs in their life and they need to stop for the moment. In our program, you'll be able to stop and have a bachelor's and not be left hanging with a bunch of coursework that hasn't granted you a degree. Now, we of course hope you don't step out, but for those that do not step out, that continue on to the MSN, you still have the bachelor's, and it's my belief that in healthcare that BSN is still important, even as you have an advanced degree. Employers look for that specific academic pathway. So there is an on-campus residency for this, for all of our programs. And Katie, help me. Do we talk specifically about residency later on, correct?
We do.
Okay, so I'm going to save that conversation for later. An exciting component of the RN to MSN program. We get to spend a long time with you because you're going through two programs, and we really enjoy that. And I can tell you from interacting with a number of these students, when you get to the end, it's an amazing thing, because you have bitten off a large task, and when you're successful at it, it feels really, really good. I think I'll end there, Katie.
Well, we're really happy to offer 6 different tracks within this MSN program. So we have 4 nurse practitioner tracks, including the adult gerontology primary care nurse practitioner, family nurse practitioner, and our newest additions this year, actually, the pediatric primary care nurse practitioner track and the psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner track. And as we stated earlier, all of our tracks are CCNE accredited. So you can be confident in that. And each student chooses a track when they enter the program. And then you would complete the core courses in the first year and a half. Everybody completes the same core courses. And then you branch off into your specialty track. And so each of these tracks will offer didactic courses that are very specific to the content that is needed for those specialties. In addition, you will take a clinical course concurrently with those didactic courses. And so you'll complete all of your clinical hours within the clinical course that you're in. The clinical courses run a full semester. And as we stated earlier with our 717 model, you'll have 3 didactic courses within that semester running concurrently with that clinical. Each nurse practitioner track does have a different number of clinical hours that are required to complete. So your AGNP would be 500 hours. Your family nurse practitioner completes 625 hours. And that's because there are primary care hours, just like the adult gerontology track would complete. But then you have the addition of OB and PEDS hours that you would complete with that as well. The PNP, or pediatric primary care nurse practitioner track, will complete 570 hours. And this track really focuses on that primary care of the pediatric population, which is birth to 18. And so within that, the students will have some experience in acute care settings, but focusing on the primary care of the pediatric population. Our psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner program, or track, offers experiences in a diverse area for mental health. So there definitely will be opportunity to see patients in face-to-face facilities, working with substance abuse, telehealth. So it really will give you a well-rounded experience through those clinical hours. And that also has 570 clinical hours that you would earn through that track. The next slide, Katie. Our other two tracks are the nurse educator and the dual MSN MBA track. For these two tracks, our nurse educator track, first of all, really prepares our students for teaching in the clinical facilities as a staff educator. It prepares you for academic teaching. I can say that this track really is unique because not only do you have core courses that focus on education theory, so outside of your nursing theory, you'll study education theory and course development, and then teaching strategies, but we offer a full semester nurse educator internship, which is unique because there are really very few schools out there that offer this. And the internship allows you as the student to, over the course of an entire semester, really take a look at the staff nursing role and direct care. The staff nurse educator role, and in a direct care setting, but then also you will experience internship hours completed in an academic setting. So this track does require two preceptors, actually. Just like a nurse practitioner would need preceptors, you would need preceptors for this track as well. And you'll have one preceptor in the direct care setting and then one in an academic setting. So for those nurses who are earning hours toward a higher degree even, you'll earn 150 hours in this track as well. This track does prepare you for the Certified Nurse Educator exam, which is the highest level of certification that a nurse educator can achieve. And so you will study content that will be on that exam, and you'll learn more about that in that track. The final track that I want to talk about is our dual MSN MBA track. This track allows you to earn your MSN and an MBA. So you will complete the core courses in the MSN program and then transfer to the School of Business, where you will complete your MBA track there. And this track offers you an opportunity to build your skills and gain an excellent foundation in healthcare administration. For some of you that already work in healthcare administration, and that's familiar for you, we do have other concentrations within the MBA program that you can choose from if you want to expand your knowledge in the leadership role. And so those are listed here. You can choose management, organizational consulting, healthcare administration, human resource development, or strategic leadership. This program also provides an opportunity for students to choose between an international business course that is done solely online, or they can choose the international business course that includes a trip to New York City. And that trip really offers students an excellent opportunity to visit some corporate headquarters, Wall Street, to really kind of delve into those areas and see them firsthand in New York, where which is the business capital of the world. So that's an excellent choice and a fun trip that students really love to take.
All right, as promised, we're going to talk about residency. I think I'll just mention right up front, we are not 100% online, or not at and 100% online program. And that is intentionally so. The part that is not online is this residency. Let me tell you why we have chosen to do that. And then let me tell you what the reactions have been from our students. We've chosen to do it because, one, we as nurses value interaction. We value face-to-face time together. We value networking, and the residency gives us an opportunity to do those things. We work very hard to make this a worthwhile time. You do your head-to-toe checkoff while you're present on campus. It gives us a chance to view you before you head into a clinical setting, accomplish a very critical component of as a clinician. And then we have a number of courses that are designed, or I should say, content within the residency that are designed to prepare you for your clinical experiences. We recognize that having a residency requires extra effort, extra cost, in some ways, extra time on your part. We don't take those things lightly. We know that they're all important. However, we'll say this is what I hear from our students. This is the feedback that we receive. Almost invariably, students, when they come to our campus, it's taken them, as I said, some time to get there, depending on what part of the country you're coming from. You're away from family. You have to take perhaps time away from work that you wouldn't normally. And so they come and they're not exactly sure if this is going to be worth it. At the end of the generally they're 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, we consistently hear of how valuable this time was. It's valuable for us as faculty, but our students tell us almost 100% that this was an incredibly important and valuable time for them in their educational journey. So we're going to continue to have in-person residencies as long as we can. We are capable of having them virtual. We did that during the COVID and the school was closed. But we really believe in the value of this one opportunity to have our students come and see the campus, meet the people that they've been working with online. In many cases, meet people from their same area that they weren't aware were in our program. Build those relationships, and then also establish relationships with the faculty is to prepare them as they move through their clinical experiences and on toward graduation. So it is a significant, important part of our program. I'll tell you one anecdotal comment. When we had to go to a virtual residency, I had one of our students from Hawaii who contacted me. They were actually upset that we weren't having a face-to-face residency, because she had been looking forward to that importantly, but we weren't able to do it at that time. So I would say prepare to have a really great time at residency. Students constantly tell us how nice this campus is. It is a nice campus. If you're from another region of the country, you might need to prepare for some Michigan weather, depending on the time of the year of your residency. But even that can be an exciting time. We occasionally have students come with family members, and they make it a kind of a trip of sorts, and we welcome students to do that as well. So I look forward to seeing you in a residency soon. Just a few words about clinicals. We are a program that allows students to participate in finding their clinical sites. There's really two models for clinical placement. One is a university that will find a clinical site for you. And the downside of that is then they will also tell you when to go there and where you're going. And there's not a lot of flexibility. The other model is the one that we've adopted. And because we have students from around the country, in fact, even outside of the country, you know your area far better than we do. And so we allow you to participate in finding and selecting sites. We will, of course, help you, give you training pointers on finding preceptors. There's additional value to our model, I believe. One is it will, in many cases, take you out of your comfort zone and give you additional skills in networking that you would not have if we just assigned you a site. You will make contacts that you would not have made otherwise that are going to be valuable for you throughout your career as a clinician. We are always happy to talk with students about sites. We have quite a bit of information about what's an appropriate site, how to find them, as I mentioned. And I know this is an important area for students. Frequently, a lot of questions about this. So we have a whole clinical team that is that works around making sure that you're successful when it comes to your clinical placements and your completion of your clinical hours.
Okay, so we've discussed some excellent benefits to our program. One thing that was mentioned is that you're going to have fun. We do believe that. We have fun as faculty and staff, and we have fun with our students, and our students have fun. But be ready for a challenge if you're coming to Spring Arbor. We have a rigorous curriculum throughout every track. You will be challenged at the professional level. You'll be challenged at the personal level. You'll grow in ways I don't think that you can even imagine at this point. But we do offer the flexibility through our model, our education model, again, that is designed for working professionals with that one course at a time. We do offer an asynchronous format, which just means that none of our courses run at a certain day and time of the week. You can complete your work online in the discussion board, submitting assignments any time of the day that you want to do it. There are, I will say that in addition to having residency, which is face-to-face on campus, you may have some courses where you are asked to meet at a certain time, maybe for a cohort meeting that the faculty works with students to decide on a time that works for everybody, you may be asked to do that, but it would be for just specific courses that will offer just greater learning opportunity for presentations or what have you. You really can plan to spend upwards of 20 hours a week in your program. And this is an important thing for students to think about. Earlier, Dr. Kaufman said, don't expect to come here and just pay for a degree, just have us hand you a grade. And that's a positive to me. So you will work for what you are learning. You're going to earn your degree. 20 hours is a really good budget to have for your time. It will take you motivation, time management. And we understand that sometimes those are things that don't come naturally for you, or maybe you haven't had to do. We work with you and give you, the resources and kind of teach you those skills. We give suggestions for building that time management schedule. And students at all levels will come to us with questions about that. And we want to work with you to help you be successful. We have years of experience educating nurses online, and this was a big plus for us during COVID. We were prepared, we were ready. Our students and our faculty did not miss a beat because we have a really good system in place. You're going to learn through not only these modules that we offer in each of your courses, but we have case studies. We have pictures and videos. We recognize the diversity of learning preferences for our students. And we also recognize the diverse level of our students. We know that some of you haven't been in school for 20 years. Some of you are coming right from your RN or your BSN program. We have resources and learning opportunities for all of you at those levels. We have for our MSN program, when you come into the program, we have an orientation course. It's called Nursing 060. And in that course, we offer an opportunity for you to practice submitting assignments into Blackboard. We offer videos and tutorials on different aspects of the classroom. We offer some writing tips and opportunity for you to practice that writing. And so it's a 0 credit course, but one that I think you'll find very valuable when you attend, just to kind of really get to know who we are right from the get-go. And as we stated earlier, our faculty are dedicated. Small classes allow them to work with you when you are challenged with some of these new learning curves. And our faculty post lectures in the courses. So you really get a well-rounded learning strategies that you can glean from. As I said, we have a lot of support. And one of those support pieces to our team is the one-on-one support that you get from your student success advisor. So when you're admitted and you register, you will be assigned a student success coach. So that's your go-to person that will really help you be successful. They can be a liaison to faculty or staff if need be. So we really have an excellent team that works on your behalf for you to be successful. And we're really proud of that. But you will work, so be ready for the challenge. So at this point, you've heard from Dr. Coffin and myself. I'm sure you're already thinking, how do I get signed up? So I'm going to go ahead and turn you over to Karen Tucci, who will talk to you about admissions.
Hi, everybody. My name is Karen Tucci. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I am an admissions representative here at Spring Arbor University. I'm sure I might have talked to some of you on the meeting today. And basically our role here, we work as a team. There's several of us on the team. And what we do is we help you through the application process, make sure that you have all your documents in place so that we can support you and then bring you over to the admissions committee for review. So once you have talked to one of us and we have had a conversation and we make sure that it's a good fit for both of us, then our next step is going to be to go through the admission criteria and how to apply. So Most likely in our initial conversation, we're going to discuss with you how to apply for the MSN program or the RN to MSN program. All of our MSN programs, you do need to have a BSN degree from an accredited university. For the RN to MSN programs, you have to have an associate's degree in nursing or a diploma in nursing. We do require a 3.0 grade point average from your most past recent 60 credits. We also, of course, like to see a current and unencumbered nursing license. We do require your official transcripts. And we also do require 2 letters of recommendation and also a goal statement. And as your admissions representative, we'll walk with you through each and every one of these steps to make sure that we're doing everything correctly. We actually stay with you through the application process, the acceptance process. And then after you've been in school for 1 week, you're going to have what Dawn explained is your student success advisor to take over for us until you graduate. They're going to be there for you every step of the way. So we're kind of your right-hand people until you actually start school, and then you're on your way. So if you're interested in applying, you can schedule an appointment with one of us, the admissions representatives. We're happy to talk with you, answer any of your questions, go through the programs, try to figure out what is the best fit for each and every one of you, because really that's what it's about, making sure that this is the right fit, that we get you in the right program at the right time. We'll work with you once again to submit your application. And if you need any help ordering transcripts or with your letters of recommendation, your RN license, that's what we're here for. We're here to work with you every step of the way and answer any of your questions. And then, like I said, once you're accepted, we're going to work with you to get started. And as Dawn stated, we have a great orientation for you guys the week before you start school. You also, which I think is amazing, is you get early access to your course, basically the Wednesday before the Monday you start. So we're going to work with you through that and make sure that you are set and ready to go to become successful in our program. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Karen. So at this point, we did save some time for Q&A at the end. If you have any questions, or as you've been listening to the presentation, if anything was unclear, or you want to ask for some more information, now is that time to submit those questions. You can use the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen to submit those, and then we'll try to get through as many of these as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see what questions we have so far here. Looks like our first question asks, for clinical hours, are we able to choose the pace that those are obtained? Trying to imagine work-school balance for my family. I'm planning to use some saved vacation time for clinic hours.
Yeah, I can start with that. That's a really excellent question. And what I like about it is that you're being realistic and recognizing that you cannot fit graduate school into an already busy, full life. Something you have to make some adjustments. Specifically to this question about clinical hours, we do have a requirement per semester. There is some flexibility in that, but we don't encourage you to have a lot of flexibility in that. What we've discovered is that students who kind of take their time, so to speak, in getting those clinical hours, time gets away from you rather quickly. There are always going to be things in your life that seem to take priority or are more important, and sometimes they are, but often it's just normal life that gets in the way. In graduate school, you're going to have to make plans. I like that you mentioned your family. I think graduate school is a family affair. Your spouse will have to give up something and contribute. Your kids will have to give up something and contribute. But in the end, because they've done that, they win also, right? When you complete, when you graduate, it's not just you getting the diploma. In some ways, it's your whole family's getting a diploma, and I think that's a really good thing. But I want to very specifically to the clinical question, we do have requirements by semester. It's meant to keep you on schedule, on task. There is some flexibility, but in general, we don't encourage you to drag it out over years.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Kaufman. Our next question asks, for those of us who would come in with an ADN, what is the schedule like? When does that 717 start? So this person's asking if that starts with the BSN coursework or if that's more once you get into that MSN portion.
Yeah, I can take this one. The 717 starts immediately. The one thing that is different with the BSN portion, we're pretty clear that we offer one course at a time. In the BSN portion, there are a couple of there are some instances where you will have a 3-credit course, the 7-week course, but taken along with a 1-credit course. So it's not exactly accurate that it's only one course at a time. But you'll see that those courses are complementary and it shortens the bachelor's period of time. But the 717 model is used throughout all of our programming.
Great, thank you. Our next question asks, if I have a bachelor's degree in something else, can a student go directly into the MSN portion?
So our program is not set up to award nursing license or to make you eligible to sit for the NCLEX exam as part of the RN. I'll tell you that as a university, we are working on that track, but we don't have that today. So you do have to have a BSN to come into the program. Now, if that question is, you're an RN, but you have a bachelor's in, let's say, psychology, then the RN to MSN program is what you would be looking at, and there may be some significant portions of that bachelor's part that could transfer, possible. But if the question is, if you don't have a license, no, we don't. This is not a direct entry MSN.
Great. As long as we're on that topic, one kind of related question, this person's asking, they don't have a diploma or an associate degree, but they do have a certificate of professional nursing as well as a PhD in nursing. Would that certificate of professional nursing be acceptable to apply for the RN to MSN program? That's a lot. Let me know if you want me to repeat.
No, you don't need to repeat it. This is perhaps a little bit more complex question that might require some one-on-one conversation. But in general, if I understand this correctly, this questioner is an RN. And so the issue is the associate degree versus a certificate of professional nursing. And if you are a licensed RN, I'm pretty confident that that would be sufficient, that we would be able to accept that into the RN to MSN program. And my guess, if both of those came from Case Western, then it almost certainly meets our other requirements. So I think it is likely the case.
Okay. And just to add, on the last slide, when we wrap up, we'll include a direct link if you want to schedule an appointment. And it sounds like that might be the sort of the best next step then too, is just to, directly kind of speak about your individual circumstances, if any questions. Our next question asks about clinical hours. This person asks, do we do clinical hours throughout the program, or do we do all of the clinical hours at the end of the program?
Yeah, I can answer that. Your clinical hours are done not throughout the whole program, but once you start your track specific courses. We purposely have a design where you are taking your didactic courses that are specific to your track, let's say FNP, and you would start out with primary adult care. Then you would take that clinical course concurrently with it, and be doing clinical courses in primary adult care while you're in the primary adult course. Once you've finished a didactic course, you can go ahead and earn your hours in that content. So for instance, if you want to do OB hours, you have to have your OB course, didactic course first. You need that content, or at least be in that course concurrently. So once you hit your track specific courses after the first year and a half, that's when you start your clinical hours and you complete them to the end over the 2 to 3 semesters, depending on the track that you're in. We generally do not have students complete all of their clinical hours and only their clinical hours at the end of the program. It is much more beneficial to be able to be working in the clinical setting as you are learning that material, or if you've just come out of that didactic course, so it's fresh and you're familiar with it and you can apply it. So that direct application is a really important piece.
Thank you, Dr. Day. Our next question asks where would I be able to view the curriculum for the psychiatric nurse practitioner program? I imagine there might be others, interested in the full curriculum for any of the programs. I'm actually going to turn that, or do you want to take that?
I was just going to say that our graduate catalog lists our entire curriculum for every single track. So you'll see the core curriculum, and then you'll see how each individual track breaks down in that catalog.
And Karen, I believe also at online.arbor.edu.
I was just going to
say,
those
courses would be listed, correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure if all the courses listed there, Karen.
If not, once we speak with them, we can send them the course list. We can email it to them. It's no problem at all. We have them all, and we can send them the catalog. So anything that they require, they set up an appointment with us. We'll be happy to email it to them.
Excellent.
Great. Let's see. Our next question asked if you can name just a couple of the types of courses that we would take for the BSN portion. They used such as statistics as an example.
Yes, gladly. So statistics is generally required for graduate school. And so we've built that into our BSN so that you're not taking the BSN and then a stats course. So statistics is one of those courses, very astute of this questioner. But the courses then are the upper level nursing courses that you would find in any pre-licensure program, with this exception. They are designed for working RNs. You already are licensed. So everybody that's in the course is functioning as a nurse. So you're taking these courses in that respect as opposed to brand new learners. So the kinds of courses that you would have is a community health course, theory course, an upper level med surg course, your leadership course, for instance.
Great. We're nearing the end here. I'm going to ask one last question and then we'll wrap up. And, I'd encourage you to reach out to an enrollment advisor if you have any remaining questions. But our last question asks about the psychiatric nurse practitioner program, and does becoming a psychiatric nurse practitioner qualify us with prescriptive abilities?
Yes, it will. All of the practice rights, practice abilities, you'll be able to gain dependent on your state, what your state allows as far as practice rights. But as soon as you pass your boards, then you'll be able to have all the rights that your state allows for that specific track.
Very good. All right, so that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for all of your great questions. Again, please do reach out if you think of anything else, or if you're interested in getting more information about the program. I've got a URL on this screen. tinyurl.com/SAU admissions is our sort of our quick link for you if you want to go ahead and schedule an appointment. And then just as a reminder, we will be sending out a recording tomorrow of this presentation so that you can, go back and view anything if you have any questions. So thank you again so much for joining us, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.